Good morning, everyone. I feel like my hair looks like when you go in the water in a swimming pool as a kid. And you go like this, and you go like this, and you say, "Look, I'm George Washington." That's what my hair is giving right now. Okay, welcome back, everyone. I am Sam McDonough, IFBB Bikini Pro, and this week our nonprofit shout out is still the Trevor Project. So I will bring that up to refresh your memory. The Trevor Project, it is a suicide hotline for trans individuals looking for help. It's a support line. And yeah, that's my nonprofit shout out for the week. So let's get into the Charlotte Pro, which was a yesterday. FIBO happened yesterday. Evie Escondar won. Allison Testu got second. And then in third place was Lisa Reith. We don't have photos for that yet, but the scorecards reflected a perfect score. And getting into Charlotte, it was Maria won. Congratulations, Maria. I was so thrilled for her. 1 point difference between first and second place. And Maria, like I said last video, has gotten second place at this same show the past 2 years in a row. So congratulations, Maria, for finally winning this show. And we're going to get into our pictures and stuff. Ariana came in second. Romina came in third. So it was great to see Romina coming back to the physique that we're used to seeing with Romina. And then Jordan. And yeah, so from then on, the people were like squarely in their places pretty much, except for places 10 and 11, which was Rachel Linares and Noelle Agnew. But yeah, other than that, everyone was like squarely in those places. So 12 points, 15 points, 18, 21. Oh, okay. There was some dispute between, Ilaria and Sierra, 4 points in between them. So Sierra and Marioli were pretty close together. But Ilaria was like squarely in that 7th place. So congratulations, everyone. Let's get into it. So first, let's pull up these comparison photos. Something that I wanted to know about Kiki specifically, I noticed that when she did her individual, she came out opening with one front pose, and then when she landed in her front pose, she landed on the other side. So here she is, even just in comparisons, switching the side she front poses on. So facing that way, and then facing this way. Both are in comparison photos. I think this is probably her stronger pose, but I see why she would face this way when she's on the very end of the lineup like this. So it is a smart move, but I don't know that, I mean, it's a smart move in that way. Like, I see why she would do that. But also, you really want to show consistency with your poses, and you only want to show your best pose. So, yeah, I will be curious, because I imagine she did that thinking that after the show she would ask the judges, like, which front pose do you prefer? So that is, like, something very good for feedback. So smart move in that way, too. So, yeah, I thought it was something interesting and worth pointing out. So let's first look at these comparison photos. So here is everyone's front pose. This is the top 6. And then here's everyone's back pose. I wonder if there is... Okay, so let's put this here. And let's put this up here. How do I do that? Okay, it's not going to work. It's not going to work, you guys. We're just going to have to do it like this. So let's go front poses first. So looking at the lineup, I think what Maria has is perfect like conditioning that matches across her physique, balance from top to bottom. She's just as lean up top as she is on the bottom. She has the like waist that cinches in, gives great hourglass shape, really get great balance in that respect. A lot of pop, really great stage presence, always looks excited to be there and very poised. And then in her and everything matches, like top and bottom match and front and back match. So here is her back pose. You can see she's like pretty much just as tight in her rear delts as she is in her glutes. Symmetry is really good there. Nothing is standing out. Nothing's overpowering, which is good. If something is standing out, that means it's distracting, and you do not want to be distracting. Unless it's like with your total package, just looking really good and winning the show. So yeah, I think that's where Maria like really shines. And looking at this back pose, I would like to amend a comment I made to someone on my last video. Someone asked, they were like, girl in the pink suit, but I showed a few girls who were in pink suits. They were like, girl in the pink suit, her right glute is way more dominant than her left glute. And I was always thinking that Ari's left glute was more dominant than her right glute. Like, it looked fuller. But and we'll really see this when we go into her individual back poses, like it doesn't show as well here, but I actually agree. I think if this is the person they were talking about and asked for clarification, they didn't respond to me. But her glute does look more developed on this side. Like the glute extends lower and ties into that hamstring. So I actually do think that is yeah, I do think they were right. And in her front pose, this is the side that she poses on, so it would make sense that this side is a little more bound up than the other one. So yeah. Okay, looking at back poses, so this is our top four. We have Ari, Jordan, Maria, and Romina. So what do I think here? I think that Maria and Ariana have the most balanced back poses, meaning like their conditioning is matching everywhere, nothing is standing out, top to bottom match. Like, but when we look at Romina, I think her lower is a little bit more dominant. In her back pose, maybe not even as much. See, I kind of struggled when I was looking at all these photos. So in her back pose, I think she does just have a really great back pose. I think that's true. Her front pose, I think, is more where I had some questions. So yeah, her back pose looks really good. You can see the rear delt pop. Her glutes are popping. This is like the best her glutes have looked all season. Best her lower body has looked all season. Really, in the past 2 seasons. And then Jordan, the thing that was not balanced for me was rear delts. Her upper body just looked a little bit flat compared to her lower body. And there's also more glaze on the lower body. Like you can see that she has more glow here. But what is not working for me as much, and I would be curious to hear what her feedback is. I'm sure she will share it at some point on her podcast. She'll be doing Wasatch. She announced that this morning or yesterday or something. So in 2 weeks, she'll be doing Wasatch. After she did Sasquatch last year, she said she wasn't going to share her feedback till after her next show when she won Legion. So it might be a similar situation this time around. But her lower body has more pop and like 3-dimensionality. To me, is that a word? 3-dimensionality? Anina, you could tell me if it's a real word or not. And then I'll ask Google and I can find out even sooner. But she has more pop on her lower body here. You can see like distinct muscle bellies, like her hamstrings. You can see a little bit of the quad, her glutes, obviously. But her upper body, I'm not really seeing that distinction between her rear delt and her, like the rest of her arm and her back. And I'm not really seeing much pop in the shoulders. I think she looks great, certainly improved from the Arnold. And I think this is a very good look for her. But I think she just needed a little more pop in the upper body. I think she said she was doing more fat manipulation this time than carb. So they could get a softer, less vascular look, because that's something that judges have had feedback about, like looking a little too vascular. I believe she said that. That's been my feedback about her in the past. But yeah, she has more pop on the lower body than the upper body, so that's reading as an imbalance to me. But yeah, I really liked a lot of the things Jordan did at this show, so we will get more into that. But yeah, so from the back, I do see how it would go 1, 2, 3, 4. Even though it seems crazy, given like how good Jordan's lower body looks, I still think Jordan needs to bring up her hamstrings a little bit to match. I know the judges told her no more muscle. I still think she would need a little more hamstring. She looks a lot harder in the leg than she does in the glutes and elsewhere. But maybe that is feedback. Maybe it's not. Judges in the past have told her no more muscle, but I think maybe a little more hamstring would be good. Okay, getting into the front pose, and then we'll go into people individually. So let's talk about Rhoda really quick. Yeah, Rhoda was just missing that glute projection from the front that I said that I think hinders her in these lineups. So yeah, that was not like too much of a surprise that she didn't have this pop, but Rhoda, I mean, is just absolutely stunning. Like, she is jaw-dropping. I love seeing Rhoda on stage. I think we'll get more into her, but I think just a little more glute projection from the front. So Rhoda got 6th place at this show. Kiki got 5th. Okay, going into top 4 again, though. So in the top 4, when I look at these comparison photos, again, Maria just reads as the most balanced to me. Ari is a close second, but this is where Ari's look does not give me balance across the body. So she is really poppy in these shoulders, even in her arms. But her legs, we just lose quad. And I know Maria doesn't have like super bubbly quads or anything, but it does feel like we just see a straight line here with Ari. And I think a lot of that is just because she's taller. Like she just needs more density to give the same look that like other people do in their legs, but it just looks a little bit underdeveloped in this quad here to me. The hamstring looks great. Hamstring going into the glute looks great, but I would like to see some more size here in the leg because she's really poppy up here, but I don't get the same pop down here. I also wonder if angling her hips a little more open would help her. She might not get as much pop in the glute as she does in the shoulder if she does that, but there's just something about this front pose that I would like to rework, and I can't quite put my finger on it. I want to see what a little more openness in the hip looks like. Because I think that would give her a better hourglass shape in the front pose, because right now I'm seeing hourglass in the top, but the lower body, it's just missing a little something for me. And it's so slight, so minor. Ariana obviously has an incredible look that is like not even really up for debate. I just wonder if like a little more fullness would help her. Something else that stands out to me, and we'll go into individual photos like I said, but I think she needs more coverage on the top here because I'm seeing a lot of skin, and I want to like have a little more coverage here because it looks like we're at risk of a nip slip going on. So I'd like to see more coverage in this suit top. And I think that would also balance her because I think being able to see all this skin makes her look way more broad up top than she is. She obviously has a wide clavicle base, but I think if we had a little more coverage, then she would look more balanced to the bottom. So that's something that I think about when I see this photo. And then moving into Romina, great fullness in the shoulders. She always has that. I would like to see a little more arch in this back. I wonder if that would throw off her pose, because she does have good balance, but there's just something that looks very linear to me about the like waist down, and I want to see more dynamism. Like I need something more dynamic in the lower half here. I think if she arched her low back a little more, we'd get a little bit better pop, a little bit better shape to the leg. Maybe if she even angled her toe more like Jordan has angled her toe, then that would give her some better pop too. And also this knee is totally drifting towards the curtain and I can see the bottom of her shoe. Maybe if she just angled her knee slightly more at the judges, like Maria is doing here, you can see she's like slightly angled at the judges. If she did that and had a little more arch in her low back, I think that would change things for her. I think she'd have a better shape. And then Jordan, same thing. I'm just not seeing the pop that I want to see in her shoulders. Her lower body has a lot of pop, but her upper body doesn't look like as much pop. And her waist is really tight. I will go into her video too. Videos were posted for Maria and Jordan, so we will look at those. But her waist looks like she's losing it a little bit here. I know she's like, her eyes are closed, so maybe she's not fully posed, but she looks pretty posed. I think Jordan just could benefit from a little more detail in her lower core. She has it in her upper core, which we'll see in the video, but a little more detail, like a kiss of detail in her core, I think would give her a more balanced overall look, because she has like a lot of great lines, but we lose that in the lower abs here. But I think it was a really great look. Okay. And then, yeah, okay. I think we did enough there. Let's go into, well, okay, I can go into the back pose really quick about Kiki and Rhoda. So I think Kiki brought really great fullness, more on par with what we're seeing with these four here. Rhoda has great fullness too, but we just need more size to this upper outer glute. She's at an angle here, so we'll go into her solo back pose so you can see. But Kiki, I think, has the closest conditioning to the rest of the people on stage, and the most pop. She looks like most pop between these two. So yeah, and complexion looks great. So does Rhoda's. I think it was probably a little bit of, I know the score sheet says it was perfect, but it was probably a tough call between these two because they both are great competitors. Okay, and then I'll pull up their front pose just so we can see. Yeah. Well, okay, we have to go to the individuals because that's not a great representation. Okay. So going into Maria first. So Maria, congratulations. Like I said, let's go into you. So here's Maria. Let's look at her video. Okay, there was Jordan, and here is Maria. Maria was doing some weird things with her mouth. Um, it was there was a tongue thing at one point that threw me off. But conditioning looks great, looks super full. She did not hold the back pose for a long time, which I thought was interesting. That was the tongue thing. She barely even finished her back pose in that routine, which I thought was interesting. Balance looks great. She has great like spunk. Yeah, love this. Hair looks great. Tan, suit color, makeup, all perfect. Great poise. I think a little too much with the mouth. That was the only thing that was tough for me. Um, oh, oops. Okay, so going into Maria, here she is. I think, did I already say enough? I don't know. So let's look. So really tight, but bursting out of the skin with fullness. I think this is a great look. Nothing is standing out. She's not too hard anywhere. She has these really great lines that like take your eye across her physique. Um, yeah, I don't really have much to say. A lot of pop. Makeup looks great. I really like this makeup. I don't love the lip. I would like to see something like a little more grounded, maybe, like with a lip liner that I don't know. There's something that I want to see the edge of the lip a little bit more grounded. But tan looks great. That's really, I don't really have much to say about Maria. I think I kind of said everything I had to say. Let's look at her back pose. Long term, like for the Olympia, I'm hesitant to say there's anything she really needs to change. It's probably always going to be like maybe a little bit more glue. I know Tyler said in his recap of the Olympia or Arnold or something that she didn't have, oh, the Arnold, I think she didn't have as great a balance, but I kind of disagree with that. I think that's going to come down to structure more than anything. Like when I hear that and I try to put it in perspective, Maria has, she doesn't have a thick waist by any means. Like she has a tiny waist, but since she is shorter, her torso does look a little bit thicker than other competitors. But I think that's just a structure thing and nothing that she can't overcome. Clearly, she has. She placed seventh at the Olympia, placed above people that were at the show, like Ariana, Jordan, whoever, I don't know who else at the show that was in the top 15. I think just them. But yeah, I think that's just a structure thing, and her balance is really good. So yeah, congrats, Maria. Okay, and then let's look at Ariana. So, looking at Ariana, I loved her makeup. Her, same thing. I think she could have a little more grounding in this lip. I think it's a little bit too washed out. The color is good, but if she has had a lip liner that were like a shade and a half deeper than this lip, and then like this color was focused more towards like that center, then I think that would be a stronger look for her. And maybe in person it was not even an issue, but that's something that in pictures it looked like it could have been improved. The suit, I actually like the suit color a lot. I think this works. And my thing still stands. And I've said in my suit video that like these cups can be a little bit more tall than they are wide. If this cup just had a little bit more coverage, like needs a bigger size, maybe don't go with the molded cup since she already has the fullness in her chest. I think she should just go with a standard, not molded cup so that it like doesn't push things up any more than they already are. Like she already is well endowed in that department. So I would just get like a traditional suit top, one that has a little bit more coverage, and I think that would help her balance from top to bottom because I think, like I said, it's just a little too much skin here. Like this is too far over. So I want some coverage like here and here. Waist looks super tight, and I don't know. I wonder if a scoop bottom would be more flattering. I think with this suit bottom being a V, it makes the lines that you see here look even a little bit more harsh and pronounced. So I wonder if a scoop bottom instead of like this V would help her. I assume she's doing this bottom because she has like a shorter torso compared to how long her legs are. So she's trying to elongate her torso. Jordan Brandon does that too. I assume that's her reasoning, but either way, they both are wearing the V cut. So yeah, and then more fullness in these legs here. That's not news. Her coach has said that. So yeah, more fullness here to match the fullness that we get in this arm. But the fullness is really good. That's balanced across her entire physique. So yeah, good look, really good look. Just more fullness in the legs and more coverage up top. And then looking at her back pose, her back pose is okay. Oh, no, it's one of those situations where we don't have a full back pose except for this really cropped version. Oh, I hate that. I absolutely hate that. But either way, in her back pose, super full in her shoulders and super full in her glutes. The fullness matches everywhere. This is what I mean by her glute being more developed. See how it extends down further? This one looks like it's kind of cut off. I assume she just needs to do some body work to get this loosened up so she can like, and maybe if she gets that loosened up, it will start to match this other side. But yeah, it looks smaller compared to the right side. So that commenter who said that, I agree with you. I also, part of me would like to see a little more definition here. Like it looks like it's just kind of flowing without much differentiation between the shoulder and the arm. But if she comes in any tighter, then I think that would hurt her. So I think this is like, especially it would take away even more size in her leg. So yeah, I think this is good conditioning for her. I would like to see some body work done so this one can like extend naturally like this right glute does. But tan looks perfect. Hair looks perfect. I really like the makeup, like I already said. Okay, going into Romina. With Romina, yeah, that knee is drifting away. I want to see it come a little bit closer. And this photo looks a lot better than what I was seeing in the comparison photo. In a vacuum, at least, she looks like, well, not even in a vacuum. She looks very balanced from top to bottom, muscularity-wise. I would just like to see that toe angled a little bit more to see if we get more shape to this leg here, because it looks like kind of just a big plane of skin. And I want to see that knee angled toward the judges more, because it feels like the legs are looking a little bit flat almost, like they just don't have that pop. And I think if her knee came forward, it would pop these muscles at least closer to us so they look a little bit fuller and would then give her better fullness across her whole physique. And the reason I said a little more arch, maybe the suit bottom just needs to come up a little bit higher. I'm not sure. And I don't love this suit. I don't love when there are just AB crystals on a suit because they look like polka dots on stage. So I don't adore that. But the blue itself looks good on her. So yeah, complexion looks good. Makeup looks good. Yeah, okay, that's what I think there. And then her back pose. So this was a little bit deceiving. She is not fully in her back pose here. When you pull up the photo next to it, which unfortunately is one of those cropped ones, then she's fully in her back pose. But you can see this like full body one, she doesn't have the same amount of arch in her low back that she does in this one. And her arms are not fully set yet. So this is great pop to the rear delts here. She could run a brush through her hair. It might make her hair longer and cover part of her glutes, so it's probably good she didn't, but it does look a little bit like clumpy, like because she doesn't have a brush through. But this glute projection in the back is really good, and I think that's responsible for her third place. And let's see, when we compare her front pose to Jordan's front pose, I'm curious what I would think because they place right next to each other, obviously. So there's her front pose. I'm wondering if one of them, because Romina, I think her back pose is more balanced than Jordan's was, but I'm wondering if I would think Jordan's front pose is better than Romina's. So let's pull them up side by side. Oops. Okay, so here they are. Jordan. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I like the pop Jordan has in her legs better, but yeah, her upper body is just not looking as full as her lower body. I'm losing some of this delt here. Maybe it's just the pose I'm catching her in, but yeah, I think Romina's back pose was more balanced and Romina's physique is just a little more balanced. So yeah, that's Romina. Let's go into Jordan since we have her up. So her makeup, I always say about Jordan, I think her makeup looks a little bit harsh, but she totally turned it around. I was very happy to see this makeup. And the makeup, okay, so I'll tell you what my thoughts are when I see this makeup. Like these photos, it looked same thing. I need some more grounding in this lip. This coral is okay, but I prefer the lip color that she normally wears, which is like, not always, but yeah, okay, this one. This, I think, is the perfect lip color. This is like the lip that I want to continue seeing on her. And then this eye look is more what I want to see on her. So I think you can still do this lip and this eye. That's okay to like have a bronzy, coppery eye with that lip. That actually is a very complimentary palette, especially because she wears this aquamarine suit. So purple, orange, and green are all secondary colors. And since she's doing like a corally shade, an aquamarine shade, and this mauve-y purpley shade, then those all are still the same color combination because they're all like within the same step away from the official shade they are. So it's not like true green, it's like this little off greeny blue, and then it's not true purple, it's like this mauve-y pink purple, and then it's not true true orange, it's like a corally color. So that's a really great color palette together. So she could still wear this lip, and I think she should because it shows really well on her. This lip was just looking like we were losing the shape of her lip, and it was a little too much highlight in this inner corner here. So you can do a white eyeliner, and that will open up your eyes, especially because like if you have squintier eyes like I do, like when I smile, my eyes like completely disappear. Especially if you have like a heavy lash, which most people do on stage. So I think the white liner is good, but I want to see a little bit of this like brownish orangey shade taken under her lash line after you do that white, because that will pop and like contrast against it to make her eyes pop, whereas it's looking like her eye is going straight into her cheek, which is throwing me off a little bit. I need the lash line itself to be grounded. So the white liner is good. I think too much shimmery white highlight here. It's probably not white, but it's like a frosty color. So less of that. If anything, just like a matte bonish, like or like a nude relative to her skin tone nude, like a few shade, maybe the same shade as her natural skin. That would be a better highlight here for her, because it's not as stark. So this makeup is really, really close. I would just change the lip and then tone down the highlight a bit and ground this lash line. But yeah, this I was really, really thrilled to see. This is a much like better, brighter, softer, fresh-faced look. So I was thrilled to see that. Okay, what else do I have to say about her front pose? So she also switched to a velvet suit. I don't love these you know how I feel about velvets, but I especially don't love these light velvet colors because they reflect darker. Parts of it reflect darker. So you can see like this part is darker and it looks a little bit weird to me. However, these are photos, so maybe this suit looks better in person. I just don't love it. I do applaud her for trying something new though. I think that's cool. And yeah, just let's see if another front pose we get more pop in her shoulder. Okay, so here, looking at her front pose a few different ways. Yeah, this makeup, it's so close, just a little bit too harsh, and she could even have a warmer coppery color. This one almost has like a silveriness to it, something even a little bit warmer. Like I think it's called Smoldering Satin Liquid Shadow from Stila. Like that would be really pretty. And then more of those like red-based brown colors to ground it. That's what I'm thinking, like brown script from MAC. And then like soft brown, like, yeah. Okay, now I'm just taken back to when I worked at MAC. Okay, so yeah, this front pose, I'm just losing a little bit of the pop in her shoulder, which is not matching the pop she's getting in her glute. So that's a little imbalanced for me. And I, again, would like to see a little more detail in her core because she has a lot of detail here, in her arm. So yeah, those are the things that I'd want to see. But this is like a really, really good look. I'm just nitpicking. Okay, here's her back pose. Same thing. It's, we're just not seeing that differentiation between the shoulder and the arm, but we get a lot of pop here. And then the hamstrings, I just want to see some more projection to match the glute. Oh, and what I was going to say, makeup compared to her video. Here's her video. Okay, let's do it like this. So her lip looked better in the video than it did in these photos. The lighting is different, as you can see. So maybe the lip in person was good because I like the makeup a lot more in this video than I do in these pictures. So if it looked like this on stage, then I actually am okay with that. But in the arm, you can see we just don't get any differentiation here. We don't see rear delt pop. So those were the things that I was missing with her physique. Okay. And then moving on to, oh, what just happened? Oh no, guys, looks like I have to do my least favorite thing, which is editing. And that's only because I don't really know much about how to do it. Okay. Okay, moving on to Kiki. So Kiki suit is way better than ever. So as you can see here, she starts in her front pose on this side, and then her official front pose that she does in a routine is this side. And we see that's what I mean by the suit. The boob is just hanging out. We just need to pull it tighter. That's what we need. Maybe it's this crystal connector. I don't know if she has like the crystal connector and then the tie string, but it's just a little bit loose. Like we do not want to see the boob falling out. So that's my only critique with the suit there. And then let's look at these front poses and see what the strengths and weaknesses of both of them are. Okay, so here's one of them. And then here's the other side. So between these two, this one I think is giving her a better, more balanced shape. This one looks a little more natural on her though. The arm is as tight as we want it to be to the body. That's perfect. It totally frames the glute, shows off the S curve. But this one we have better width in her shoulders and then equal amount of width in the hips, and we're seeing more abdomen, which is why we're getting better width in both of them. She looks like she's more comfortable in this pose, but I think this one is more in line with what judges want. I would like her to open her shoulders towards the judges a little bit more to get better width here. Maybe she's just not fully posed, like her hand looks like she might not be fully posed, so I'll pull up a photo where she is. Okay, so here is... Let's see. Okay, no, that wasn't it. So, yeah, we'll just go off with this one. So, yeah, actually, no. I think this is a better pose, and I just want to see her open the shoulders, like, slightly, very slightly more to the judges, but maybe if she rests her hand here, then that will be what I'm looking for. Is she doing it there? Yeah, same thing. So I would like her to relax that hand. I find it a little distracting, but not a huge deal. And then in her back pose, let's see. In her back, yeah, the other pose, it just looks more streamlined. So that's why I prefer that one. Okay, in her back pose, just a same thing as we've said before, a little more upper outer glute. I think that the length of her hair is good because her from the back, her waist is a little bit wider. She has a shorter torso. So it's kind of harder when like your ribs are that much closer to your pelvis. It's hard for it to like taper in like someone like Laura Lee, who has a really long torso. So her waist is going to look tiny because there's a bigger distance between her ribs and her pelvis. So when she twists, that kind of disappears more. But yeah, we're just losing upper outer glute here, but she has a ton of pop here and in her delts, which matches top to bottom. So I think that is why she plays higher than Rhoda. I am seeing a little bit too much detail here in the hamstrings, like we see actual hamstring cords, but if she got any tighter, if she softened up, then she wouldn't get the same amount of pop. So it's a trade-off. So I think she made the right call, getting as lean as she did and then filling out the way she did. And then, okay, sorry, my nose is itchy. Okay. And then looking at Rhoda, I think Rhoda, I like the red. I still would love to see her in a yellow. But I like the red, and makeup looks perfect. I mean, she is just beaming. I'm obsessed with Rhoda. Such a pretty look. Hair looks great. The middle part is very cute. Lots of pop in her shoulders here, but she has shorter insertions here than she does on her lower body, which I think is something I've already talked about before. So we get a lot of pop and shape here, but we lose that shape here, and she's pretty much the same thickness in the leg as she is in the glute. Not really, but like that's what it's reading as, compared to like the delineation in shapes that we see with other competitors. So more projection from the front. The quad is probably not too full, but it does look a little bit dominant compared to her glute being a little underpowering in this front pose. So I think the only thing she needs to bring up is glutes, see how she looks, see what judges' feedback is, and then if they say to do more, then do more. And more in another area, I mean. Back pose, these glute insertions are crazy. This is a great amount of conditioning. Like, this is beautiful conditioning. Lots of fullness and pop to the hamstrings. The glutes go directly into them, lots of pop, but she's kind of the same width all around here. We need more pop to this upper outer glute because she looks kind of like a straight line here, unlike her upper body where she has like a crazy amount of pop, but we don't see that same pop on the lower half just because of the way the insertions are. So I would be curious to see what more upper outer glute looks like. Could she maybe bend her knees slightly and like slightly abduct them? I wonder if that would give her more shape to this back pose, but really I think it's probably just going to be more muscle. Part of me also wants to know if she brings her arms further in, will that make her glutes look like they have better width? Because her arm is right next to her glute, but I don't think so. I don't think that's the right move. So, yeah, I think just more size and density on these glutes is what she needs. And then I think bringing up her calves would also help her. She has pretty short calf insertions. So if she could, like, get some more pop to her calves too, I think that would give her a good, better overall look, but that's not like a big thing. And maybe she doesn't even need that. I just want to see more glute. So yeah, that's what I think about the show. And then Ilaria, let's just talk about Ilaria really quick, 'cause this is her pro debut. And she got 7th place out of like a very competitive lineup, like a lot of Olympians, like top 10 Olympians, like Ariana was in this lineup. Great balance from top to bottom, beautiful glute projection, hair, makeup, tan, suit, all look gorgeous. I love this. I think this suit is really pretty. Yeah, really incredible waist taper. Really, really, really good look. The only thing I think she needs is just a little bit more glute here. A little bit more glute density overall, and then especially in this upper outer glute, which who doesn't? Because her glutes are pretty much the same width as her leg back here. But great pro debut. Get the hair off the shoulders. I would say that too. And yeah, really great look. So congratulations, everyone. I'm really excited to see what Wasatch is gonna bring us. That's our next like big show that attracts a lot of big names. So I'm excited about that. And if you have any questions or you disagree or you agree, let me know. And thank you for everyone who has liked my videos. It makes me feel good. And when you comment, I always get so excited. So thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye.